When you arrive at the property, check how much time we have allocated for the visit. Then walk the property to make sure you can complete the visit within this time frame. Carefully read the Read First section and check whether the customer has asked us to exclude any hedges from the service. Refuel your hedge trimmer in the morning before you start working. Use Mix, which is 89 octane fuel mixed with 2-cycle engine oil. Should you need to refuel your machine during the workday, make sure to let the machine cool down first. Remove the blade guard and inspect your blades for any nicks and dents. A damaged or dull blade will result in a choppy and shaggy look. Make sure that grip support and handle are firmly in place and no screws are missing. After refueling your machine and before you turn it on, apply a lubricant to the blade. Let the machine run so the product can spread evenly. Sometimes, especially when you have to trim a large hedge, you may need to lubricate the blade during the visit. You will notice when to do so if the blade becomes sluggish. Take the hedge trimmer, bucket, rake, and compostable bags and leaf blower with you so you can avoid making several trips to the van to pick up equipment. Tip: always put the blade cover on the blade when storing or transporting the hedge trimmer. Have bucket, rake, compostable waste bags, and if possible, yard waste bin close by. This will save you time when cleaning up.
And this is the first time, so it's obviously cold. So you pump it, up 5 times. You make sure there is inch choke. After you pull it a few times, then you move the choke to the right position.
Right.
You press the throttle. So you gotta make sure that you're always on flat surface, so because when the blade will move. One thing that you have to be careful is that if you press both at the same time, you're engaging the blade. So you watch.
Avoid cutting too deeply into the hedge. Instead, pass the blade lightly over it, shaving a few inches off at a time. Let the blade do the work for you and let it guide you. Don't apply any force. You should also never cut any branches that are thicker than a pencil, as this will damage the blade. Follow the same shape the hedge has today. If the shrub is lollipop shaped, keep it that way. If the hedge is box shaped, maintain a boxy shape. If you are trimming a hedge which is hip high or shorter, trim the top first. We trim the top first because you have a good view of the top. Hold the blade level or at a slight angle. Only shave a few inches off of the top. Then trim the sides of the hedge by placing the blade level and parallel to the hedge. Slowly walk along the hedge, trimming off little by little at a time. After you have finished your first pass, turn off the machine and set it on the ground. Use your hands or rake to pull off any debris and leaves. Step back and check the results. If needed, start the hedger and pass it once more for any final touches. We do not trim hedges that require the use of a ladder. Since you do not have a good view of the top, start near the bottom and work your way towards the top of the hedge. Pass the blade in a sweeping and upward motion, shaving off only a few inches at a time. Continue to do so while walking forward and along the hedge. Turn off the machine, take a step back and take a look. Make any corrections if necessary. Tip: trim the sides of the hedges at a slight angle so that the bottom is a bit wider than the top. This way, the sunlight can reach the lower branches and root system, which will help with healthy growth and lush look. Once you have trimmed the sides of the hedge, continue with the top. Place the blade at level or a slight angle to the hedge. Remove the clippings with a sweeping motion. Tip: always have your hand pruners at hand to cut thicker branches or branches that are hard to reach with the hedge trimmer. Since you have a good view of the top, start trimming from the top, sloping the blade downwards. Then trim the sides by placing the blade parallel to the shrub and walking slowly around it. Finish by shaping the bottom part. Start trimming the sides first by placing the blade parallel to the shrub and walking slowly around it. To create a curved top, move the blade using an upward motion, sloping the blade upwards and away from your body. Repeat the same process to shape the bottom part. Once you have finished trimming all hedges, shake the hedge or use your rake to pull as much debris as possible. Rake up the debris, fill your black bin, and empty it into the yard waste bin. Depending on the hedge, bush, or shrub you are hedging, it may sometimes be easier to blow the debris into a pile and then rake it up. Tip: if the hedge is close to gravel or mulch, which makes cleanup more difficult, place compostable trash bags on the ground and weigh them down with rake and bucket. If you catch as much debris as possible like this, cleanup will be much easier. If the customer has curbside pickup, create a pile. Remember, curbside piles must not be larger than 5 feet by 5 feet and must be placed at least 1 foot away from the curb. If a customer does not have a yard waste bin, line your black bin with compostable bags, fill the bag with debris, tie it up, and place the bags next to the regular waste bins. Fetch your blower and clear all hardscape from leaf debris and any cuttings. Tip: clean your blade after each use. Sap is just like glue. Sap will harden and will make the blade much less effective. Tip: to avoid the spread of disease, such as powdery mildew, it is advised that you disinfect your blade with either disinfectant wipes or horticultural disinfectant. Immediately lubricate the blade afterwards, as we do not want the blade to corrode. Once you have cleaned up and put all your equipment away, It is time to treat all hedges, shrubs, or bushes with a growth regulator.